step up in weight is the big boys with the big bang. A state of origin war, and representing New South Wales, this man, Eric Nosa. And from Queensland, the bomber originally from Tonga, Cedric NTG. And as a very proud blue, we love state of origin inside the ring, because surely us New South Welshmen are going to win at something. You've dominated rugby league Queensland for far too long. Can this man continue that maroon dominance here at Evolution 21? Tipping the scales at just a hot dog, over 100 kilos. Big Cedric NTG. We saw him in action against Carnage Corbett not that long ago. Sponsored by Gumdale Demolition. It is the big boys ready to get it on under full tie rules. 3 3-minute rounds.
Of course, I think Cedi's last fight out was on that K1 Canberra, the K1 Oceania event held in Canberra. And he did war with the Sting Paul Slawinski, and some would say that Cedric perhaps disrupted Slawinski's flow into the final against Big Bang and Ben Edwards. He wore Slawinski down in that fight. So Cedi has had a big year, big fights. His hand hasn't been raised in a couple of them, but you know what, anytime the man with the red trim steps into the ring, you know that he's going to bring it and be all heart and power.
Big year, big fights. Not necessarily victorious, but a progressive year in regards to his talent and his progression. It is Cedric NTG in the white and red. In the white and blue, Eric Nosa, trained by Glenn Bajari and Ricky Kulu. Representing New South Wales. Not too many friends here at the Chandler Arena tonight, mind you.
But Nosa's has been around a long time also, and had some epic fights. Always very accomplished for a heavyweight. He's very clean, fights with a lot of skill, Nosa. And of course, training with Baragry now and Rick Kulu, you know, a couple of good trainers rounding him out, Nosa. In turn, you've got NTG, Big Cedi. And as you said, Andy, hasn't had his hand raised on a lot of occasions, but you know what? The ovation when he walked in, and you know, the recognition of Cedric now. People love watching him. They love to see what he's going to bring into centre ring, because they know they're always going to get their money's worth.
That was a stopping left hand there by Eric Nosa, who holds the experience advantage in this contest. This is 41st fight for Cedric NTG. His 20th fight as both boys let the hands go from close quarters.
And again, a shout out to the sponsor of this bout, Gumdale Demolition, Tricky Trev. And a really big shout out to Tricky Trev and Gumdale. Been around for forever and a day, and been right behind Evolution from day one.
Right hand there from Cedric NTG, certainly got the attention of Nosa, put him back against the ropes, almost a temple shot. Just got him round the edge of the eye, almost between the eye and the ear, not far off that temple. And when the temple goes, the equilibrium goes, and it is very close to an L on your resume.
Fast hands for a big fella, Nosa, and in turn Cedric also very proficient in the boxing department. Of course, used as one of the sparring partners in that heavyweight contender series of a couple of years ago that were filmed in Singapore. Cedi and indeed Thor Hoopman went over and were used as off-screen sparring partners for the guys that took part in that Mark Burnett production of the boxing contender series.
Body shape has changed dramatically, I think, of Cedric NTG. A real reflection on how seriously he's now taking the fight game. Off balance there with a right round kick. He was looking at that ample left thigh of Nosa. Finds it on that occasion as the bell sounds. They tap him up and head back to their respective corners. Nugget and the crew from Nugget's Gym in the red corner.
Once again, Cedi just setting with the hook, bringing the right hand through, doubling up on that hook, getting through the guard of Nosa, body up to the head, changing his levels of attack from body to head. There's Glenn Baragry in the corner there of Nosa.
He's coming in and throwing everything he's got in little bursts. Don't fucking start brawling with him.
Now there's a bloke that can hold him up, Big Glenn. As we prepare for round number 2, just three-minute rounds, not the 5-minute round, 5-rounders we have seen so far tonight, and we will see a little bit later in our co-main events. Crowd appreciating this one, especially after the technical brilliance that we just saw between Kim Olsen and Danny Dudowski. A little more heavy-handed here in the 100-kilo plus division, and those right hands were thrown with plenty of bad intentions.
Well, that's just why they call him the bomber from Tonga. Big Cedric is not scared to let the big bombs fly. He'll take a risk in order to entertain the crowd and perhaps look for an early finish.
Missing with that right leg kick, looking for the uppercut there. NTG, and Cedric again continues on the front foot, moving in with those knees to the midsection. Separate and go again. That'll play into the hands of Cedric. Just shuffling forward ever so slightly to create the room.
Break it up, let's go. Fight!
Showing some great skills for heavyweights, both these men. And indeed, if you like your heavyweight fighting, every Thursday night right here on Fox Sports, you'll see the best of the heavyweights going around. Kickboxing, Muay Thai action, and indeed on Fuel TV. Sunday nights, check your tally guides. It's a fighting feast, Andy. There's so much on at the moment.
We love it. Squaring up again, centering. Both men using their hands well, both using them as initial offensive weapons before going to their feet. Looking for the front kick there, Nosa. There's that big bolo right. One more time from NTG, just off target. The radar a little off in round number 2 here.
I'd like to see Cedric just perhaps set it up a bit more, maybe go the inside thigh and then roll the overhand, or maybe go dropping body or a chest or a heart punch and then bring the overhand right from that off the left. Throwing it on its own is a bit predictable, and Nosa seeing it come. In turn, Nosa throwing out some nice round kicks. Nice inside thigh kick, stopped the flow of Nosa there from Cedric.
Cedric coming in, using the hands and using them well, but when you do use the hands hammer, you're reliant on body weight on that lead leg, in this case, in Cedric's case, the left leg, and we can see Eric really chopping away at that.
Well, it's certainly, when you're trying to especially throw that overhand right, I mean, you guys at home, even if you want to try, you roll your hand over, all the weight goes on that front leg. All the weight's on the front leg. If your opponent's fast enough and smart enough to pick that up, to smash out that lead leg, totally takes your balance. So a little bit of strategy there being applied by the big fellas. But they're not all brawn. There's a lot of brain in this fight as well.
Another Hammers tip. And we enjoy our Hammers tips direct from Hammers Gym, first-class facility. If you're new to the industry and you're from down Melbourne way and you'd like to train, and you don't have to train just to be a fighter.
No, not at all. I mean, there's a lot of people down there training for fitness and self-defense. See Nugget in the corner there, giving Cedi the heads up. Bang.
Some good handwork there, wasn't it, from Eric Nosa?
They're punching straight. They're bringing their guard straight back to the head. They're still aware of the offense and the defense. And quick hands for big fellas. Big left hook.
We've seen that for 6 minutes. Good straight punching from Nosa there. What about the knee from Cedric NTG? That big left hand again, Cedric.
Let's go, boys. Break it up. Let's go. Break it up.
Again, Andy, another fight that's really going down to the wire. You know, such a close matchup. And the fight is really there for the taking.
State of origin, New South Wales versus Queensland in this one. Cedric NTG in the white and the red, representing and proudly Queensland. The hopes of the Sleeman centre here with him. He took one there. And what about that from the local boy? Strikes like a cobra, but with the power of an elephant.
Just power and skill and technique. And will that be enough to get Cedi over the line and get Queensland the win, Andy? That's really going to make you unhappy.
Unhappier. All in the timing, and hasn't Cedric really proven that in this last 45-second period so far?
Nosa
right
rallies
hand,
back.
beautiful from Eric Nosa. And they smile at each other.
Well, certainly they're both
Break it up, boys.
egging
Break
each
it up,
other
break it
on,
up,
saying,
break it
what
up.
have you got, son?
Fight.
Bring it.
Another wrap to our man Nugget, matchmaker here, and another beauty. It will go into the Evolution files.
Well, this is why people travel to the Evolution events. They come from Melbourne, they come from WA, they come from all parts of the country to sit ringside and witness an Evolution event. And never disappointed. You guys are watching it all in the luxury of your own homes, and I'm sure you're enjoying it as we are.
Come on, fight.
Final round, closing stages at heavyweight between Eric Nosa and Cedric NTG. Has Cedric done enough in this third and final round to get the judges' nod? Because it appears one more time we are headed to the scorecards.
Well, Nosa rallies back, some good shots from Nosa.
Cedric's
now getting back
here.
up.
Cedric's hurt and able to clinch. Good, smart Muaythai fighting. Both look for that big finishing right hand, and again Nosa with two scoring shots late in the final round.
Well, real sense of urgency.
Plenty.
Have a look at him go now, Andy Raymond. They're swinging from the rafters. The big fella. Down goes Nosa.
Eric Nosa to the deck, not ruled and knocked down. So bat on they do, and the bell stops this one. Listen to the crowd here at Chandler. They are loving it.
Wow, what a sensational heavyweight fight. Slugfest. Nosa not taking a backward step. Cedric doing what he does best, and that's throwing down. Big left hook into the knee. Clinched up. Down went Nosa. Will that be enough to get Cedric over the line? Me think so. Short left hook. Nosa comes straight back. Straight punches. What a big heart on the man from New South Wales.
That's the one that hurt, that initial left hand. And Cedric looking just to back out of there, albeit temporarily.
And just chops away at the inside
Beautiful.
thigh. And what a game of strategy and power and skill.
We go to the judges' scorecard. It is a split decision. Your winner, red corner, Cedric NTG.
The hometown boy flies the Queensland flag one more time.